Welcome back to another episode of Barber Talks, and today on the chair we have got Rebecca, Jo-ell and myself, the certified barber. Let's get straight into it.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad, I'm not bad.
Good. It's got me all hyped up now. I need to try and concentrate. What is it that you're doing at the minute? What is your job explained?
Yeah, so my job, I guess day-to-day role, we're classed as estate agents. We do everything, so in terms of sales, commercial property, so do the full, I guess, side of that. So day-to-day, it's anything from valuations, viewings, photographing property, so everything effectively from when we first meet everyone to finish as well. So cover all parts of the job, really.
You're smashing it. You are smashing
We try.
it. You're smashing it. How did you start into it? Like, where did you first?
Yeah, so it's a weird one. I never planned on going into property. I fell into it as such, and I think every other estate agent can say the same. Nobody ever plans on it, or they just get stuck in it, and then they always stay, I guess, within it forever. Yeah. I started back when I was 16, so I was at college at the time, and I was always told, oh, get a Saturday job or anything to fill up the weekends as such. Applied, for numerous jobs, such as, I don't know, waitress or, just random jobs, and nobody would take me on effectively.
So literally nothing to do with it?
Nothing. Had never planned on being an estate agent. Always walked by them in town and everything, but always thought they were always a bit stuck up and square box. So, or, not for women, it's always, it's a man's role. But yeah, so, and in the end, I've started with so many job rejections as such. I just saw this one pop up, and it was property manager based in Loughborough. I thought, I've never done it before, but what's the harm? The worst they can say is no. I think I went for the interview the same day, and then they're like, oh yeah, have the job. And that was just a Saturday, so they're Saturday girl effectively. And I guess from there, they then offered me a full-time role, so I got rid of college as such. And then went into that really. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
See, that's similar to me, because I said on one of the first podcasts we did, that's how I started in barbering. I actually started on a Saturday job in a salon.
Yeah, and then
I just stayed with it.
And then
do you know what I mean?
Here you are.
That's cool. That is how you've done the same kind of thing, isn't it?
That's sick.
Yeah, it's a never plan, but it's just progressed. Yeah, into
you
it.
just stuck with it, innit? Fair play. What would you say the most irritating thing is in your industry at the minute?
There's a few. There's quite a lot. I'd say bad marketing of a property. So it's people's biggest asset. So, if you're listed at whatever price, the houses that's being listed, when you see an advert go on and they say rain on the camera lens or the photos are blurry, it's very simple things that is detrimental then to, people's biggest, it's their biggest, livelihood. It's stressful enough without it being wrong from the offset. So I guess I'd say that's the biggest bugbear is bad marketing.
Yeah.
I think since COVID, to be honest, a lot of people, thinks, I guess estate agencies easy money. So lots and lots of estate agents have opened with no experience as such. So since 2021, so then they've just swamped the market. And there's, I think in Charnwood, there's 105 other estate agents.
Huh?
So just
wow,
just in this one area.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Lots and lots of online only.
That's mental.
And would you say half of them just don't know what they're doing?
Well, not to put it bluntly as that. But yeah, I get what
I
you're
don't know.
saying.
There's a lot. I don't know. I guess you don't legally have to be qualified or anything. So there's no law or restrictions in place to say that you have to be qualified. So.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
baffled me.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
What would your advice be to anyone trying to buy right now? If you could give them any advice, because the market's a bit crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a funny market. It's the media that's the doom and gloom. I think they need to catch on to another story, to be honest. They're not giving any good press about the housing market. I appreciate, rates have gone up, cost of living has, but I would say if somebody's looking to buy, do not listen to the media. I would, if you see a house that ticks your boxes, the price is right, location's right, whatever the reason you're moving for, then go for it. Because if it's, waiting on rates to drop or the housing market to supposedly crash, I can't see that happening. So, and it's relative. If you're selling at one amount, you're buying at that in line as well. So I would say just go for it.
Just go for it, just make it happen.
Don't listen
See, that's
to the
what
media.
that's what I keep hearing. People are like, oh, it's gonna go down. But is it? No. Like you said, don't listen to the media.
Yeah, they were saying it, Brexit, so 2018, the house market's going to crash.
Yeah, I remember
that. COVID, nobody can ever move again, the house is not working, and then it went, spiked. So
it's just the same thing over and over again,
correct,
isn't it?
Yeah, bad press.
I think it's a similar thing as well. You know, lads on site, they often say that, oh yeah, work's going to dry up soon because, you know, what, not building any houses, but then they never seem to dry up.
Correct. It's always good.
Do you know what I mean?
I think to be honest, the developers do that to then slash their wage.
Yeah.
So it's a full circle, isn't it?
I've heard about these, at the minute, there's a big thing with these big building firms where they're doing like these, people off price work, they're knocking 5% off the prices.
Yeah.
So, you know, like let's say if someone goes, fits a door frame carpenter, they'll get paid like a set price for doing that, so they'll try and hang so many a day in a house. Yeah. But they'll cut, like, at the minute, they're cutting 5% off that. So I don't know whether, do you know what I mean? And then
once one accepts it, everybody in line has to, or they'll say, we'll get someone else in on the 5% cut then. It's not fair.
I think, no, I definitely think you're right in what you're saying about the media, because a lot of things are swayed that way, and things are still moving, aren't they? Things are still moving.
I feel like that media comes under a lot of industries. Like you said, just don't listen to them.
No, if you know people watch the news all day and never
There
any
you go.
positives in life.
That's a big one.
Just to turn off the news, bin the papers. But then I guess that on the flip side keeps that industry in a job as well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on where everything is heading in the next 12 months in the property market? What do you think's going to happen? You know, I know we've spoken about things going up and down all the time, but where do you think it's going to go to?
I guess with COVID, you know, since COVID, obviously the market boomed effectively. Everybody put their house up for sale, and it went, you know, in a spike. But it always, you know, has to level off regardless. So as it is now, I would say for the next year until 2025, it will stay quite level. So I think rates will probably go to, you know, 4%, 4.25%, and I think people are now thinking they've got to accept the new normal. It will never drop, you know, in terms of interest rates to where they were at 0%, 1%.
Those days are gone.
I can't see that coming back again. It's just not vital, unless, you know, COVID happens again or something then. Hopefully not. I'm sure people would rather be out and about and pay a higher interest rate. But yeah, I'd say it should stay fairly consistent. So yeah, over the next year.
Basically what it is now.
Yeah, I would say probably drop a little bit in terms of interest rates, but it would stay fairly. Yeah, I don't know. I think the government will, I don't know, I'm hoping that they do something as an incentive.
Because I was going to say, do you think that anything will come along for, let's say, the average person? Because, I mean, what's the typical age now for someone leaving their home in, like 30 or something?
32, I think.
Do you think that would ever come back down to, like, how it was years and years ago when people were leaving, like, when they're, like, 18? Or do you think it's going to sit around?
I'd say, I don't know, I think somewhere 28 up would be your average. It's all area dependent as well. As that can fluctuate, can fluctuate it quite a lot. So obviously your towns, obviously a lot of people now invest in their children at university, so they don't want them in halls, etc. They'll buy them a property as their asset under their name. So that's, any university towns brings the average age down, I guess.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
It's mad, isn't it? All these little things can affect, like,
do you know what I mean? But I don't think the government needs to change stamp duty, to be honest. I think that's one thing that will kickstart.
That's a big roadblock, isn't it, for a lot of people?
Yeah, just a wasted tax, effectively. So I don't think everybody, you know, never heard anybody say a positive about it, to be honest. So. So from where you are now, what are your goals going forward with what you do? So obviously, you know, your current situation, what's planned for the future from now? Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. It's, you know, in terms of forward goals, we always want to, you know, grow and expand, but do it at, you know, a viable rate. We see, you know, so many companies go too big too soon, effectively, and then it just crashes and burns. And I don't think that's fair. It's not respectful for then any staff, you know, any clients. That's not fair. That's just, you know, building a brand too big. But I guess goals in terms of work would be, so obviously we've opened 2 offices newly at the moment, and obviously, you know, fully for ourselves. I'd say hopefully it would be to continue that, stay within Charnwood, so the East Midlands, and slowly branch out, so then cover more, say, Ashby side, North West Leicestershire, and try and reach then the other markets, so Leicester more south, because at the moment we're quite, you know, based in Loughborough and then Groovy. It's more Charnwood. So if we can get more into the Leicester market, up to Nottingham, over time, that's where I would plan. Obviously, always to grow the two. So, yeah.
Nice. And from your Instagram, you travel a lot. Yes. A lot. You are a proper travel bug. So, could you ever see yourself moving abroad?
People, I don't know. I think people always are surprised I haven't as such. People always say, "Oh, go to Dubai." Obviously, you know, property market there and everything. It's, you know, a completely different game to here as such. But there's a lot of profit to be made over there in terms of it. But is the grass always ever green? I don't know.
Have you ever thought about it though? Like even like the tiniest bit.
I was offered a job
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on the palm, but I turned it down.
Really?
It wasn't the right.
On the palm?
Yeah.
That's
wasn't
insane.
the right. It just wasn't the right. I don't know. I feel like in one way it's a step forward, of course, it's, progression and everything, but on the flip side, it's also a step back. So, of course, now I work for myself. If I ever go anywhere, it's always then working for somebody else. It's back to not square one, but it's taking a step back in, and that's not what I'd want. As much as I'd love
You're just
the
not
sun and
comfortable with
everything,
it.
it's not. I had, I guess, more than enough bad experiences in the past to learn not to go through that again.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing that you got offered that, though. That is sick.
yeah, it was a couple of years ago now, but
wow. Speaking about Dubai, so Joe, who used to work for me,
yes,
Joe Parker,
yes,
from Loughborough
yes,
as well.
He's
in Dubai now.
I went to school with him as well.
Yeah. He's in Dubai right now
really?
he sells the commercial leases, I think.
Okay, yep, so
out
commercial
there.
property.
And I spoke to him the other day and he's loving it.
Yeah.
He's loving
Different work, it's,
It's, there's all different laws out there of how things work and stuff, but what he's saying is it's much more beneficial for a working person to be there than it is here.
Yes, and more
if that
career,
makes sense.
no tax.
Yeah, all of that kind of stuff. But he said the main pressure that he's got being out there is it's the commission owner. There's no salary.
Yeah, is it quite target? Is it quite heavily
so.
target driven?
I think so, but he is loving it.
He's enjoying it.
He is loving it, and he did say, he can't. I don't think he's planning on coming back here anytime soon.
No.
You've met Joe a few times, haven't you?
Yeah. But I feel like when you're on commission base, it drives you more.
Yeah, it's
I
fight
suppose
or
it's like
but
hard work,
it's sink
isn't
or
it?
swim, isn't it?
Yeah. Fair play.
Yeah, but
I like that.
Huh?
I like that.
What?
Just going to Dubai. I was talking about Dubai right now. You get me?
just beats the weather here anyway.
I went to Dubai last year and it's like, it was only for one day, but it's like, yo, I need to go, you get me?
So, with your role, with what you do, would you say it's quite a customer-facing role?
Very, yeah. It's although people, selling houses, it's the four walls. Ultimately, 95% of it is a customer service-based industry.
Yeah. And is there ever any days where you'll go and work and you think, you know what, I really don't want to speak to anyone today, and you want to, let's say, just hide behind your computer and stuff.
Yeah.
Can you do that, or do you have to bring yourself to be like, no, I've got to deal with people today, and that's it?
I mean, there's different routes of that. So there's the client-facing part, so going out, seeing people in their properties, etc. And then there's the flip side of also, facing with staff as well. So there's both of those to juggle and deal with. And the job, anything can crop up at any time. So issues in chains, solicitors, and ultimately a lot of people point the finger at the estate agent as we're most contactable. We're open weekends, etc. There's always good days, bad days. I think it's tricky, isn't it? Because ultimately, without our clients and the support, we wouldn't be in business. So. From my perspective, good day, bad day, you have to put that aside. Whether whatever house we're going out to, if I turn up and you're upset or you're stressed, people can see that. You can put a front on whatever, but I think people can always see through it. So I would say the best, my advice for myself is if you're ever going having a bad day, and to always to be positive. So cut everything else out. That can always solve it. There's always a solution to it. That can solve itself. But if you're going out and meeting a client, they're taking you first hand when you get in there. So I would always say just go in a positive attitude.
So we spoke about that on the first episode about your work being your stage. Leave everything aside.
100%.
So definitely agree.
Because we're dealing with people day in, day out.
Yeah.
And we talked about previously as well in the first episode about how people, let's say when you don't feel like you're coming into work, you've got to step onto your stage and just flick. Do you know what I mean?
Carry on, continue as such as
It's the character that your customer wants to see.
100%, and who they're buying into. Effectively, it's
It's not necessarily like pushing your problems to a side. It's just putting your work voice on, your work outfit on, and then coming to your work character, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's a big thing. So I think a lot of people do struggle with things like that in customer-facing roles. They struggle with that switch of. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. Let's say if I go to a client, I'm treating them how I'd want to be treated, with that energy, vibe, it's everything.
Yeah.
And I think that sells itself, in any industry, that's what sells itself. And
definitely.
Ultimately that's what people want. Yeah, if you turn up, they have, say, 3 different experiences, and you've got somebody who's very neutral, somebody, say, who's positive, and good energy, and then somebody who's, stressed in themselves and then they're taking that problem out on everyone else, then they're always going to go with best option.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely. There's a lot of influencers as such on places like, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, advertising these courses where they're saying, if you come on this course, it's a property course, we're going to show you how to, flip houses, do rent to rents, do this, do that. Would you say that they're legit or bull?
I've never been to one myself, so I can't, 100% comment, but I know people who have been to them, and a lot of it is, it's keeping them again in a role. I'd say my point is, if they're there and they've got all these great deals or best tips, why are they building up competition for themselves? If there's good deals, why are they not putting their capital?
That's exactly what I thought when I seen it.
Putting their capital into those houses, keeping the pot for themselves. So I personally don't believe in it. I wouldn't. It's dependent. I think there's a few, who are legit and happy to give advice. I think the advice is good and knowledgeable if somebody's not done it before, but a lot of it's publicly available online. So if people, learn best in terms of, presentations, people talking to them, etc., then fine, but some of them are quite costly as well. Some are thousands.
I was going to say, I know a couple of people that have spent like 5-6 grand on these courses and they've still not got any properties.
No. And a lot of, as I say, a lot of properties that go to market, there's so many transactions that do not make it to market because they're either friends with an estate agent or know somebody who is friends with one. Yeah. And it's better done that way.
Would you say it's not even about getting a course, it's more about knowing someone,
the right connections
isn't
with
it?
people? 100%, yeah. A lot of people do it different ways. A lot of people, then as agents, we can be buying agents as well. So we're not just selling, we can also buy on behalf of people. So they will pay us a sourcing fee.
I didn't know that.
So people come to us and we, charge a set percentage or fee as such. So then if they see a house that's openly on the market, then we would be their negotiator instead of them.
That's insane.
Different route for it. So some people just do that. They don't bother with the selling, they just do the sourcing.
That's mint.
Taking a lot on in already.
Learning curve.
I'd suggest doing that instead of these courses. But each to your own, isn't it?
Because that's another thing as well. When you get speaking to people, people who are like, I'm doing this, and then I'm going on, I want to get into property because that's where the money is. And I want to go on these courses, and then their easy bet is to kind of like think to themselves like, right, I'm going to go on this course, then I'm going to have, I'm going to walk into 10 properties, I'm going to do this and do that. But
easy.
It's not as easy.
It's where are the properties coming from as well.
Yeah, I think you're so right in what you're saying. It's about making the right connections in the right places to build on what you're trying to build.
Definitely.
Finding the right route for them as well. It's all right going to all these courses, but if the information there's not relevant to what they're wanting to do, property development can be an audit. They're doing buy to let, they're doing it to flip, because then there's so many legalities and taxes that come with that they're not being informed of. So they're faced with a nice tax bill.
This is what I'm saying. Like people, there's a big thing on these rent to rents at the moment because people ain't got no capital to put down on a house. It's like we're going to sit and ring 100 landlords and try and rent their property and then rent it out for more. To me, it don't really make sense because you're just becoming a middleman.
100%. They're just then subletting everything. And then if that goes wrong, you've got a void period. Who's paying the mortgage then that month and the rent? It doesn't add up to me.
I mean, as a property owner, let's say I've got 3 houses and I want to rent out 2, and I didn't want to deal with it myself. You would just go to an established estate agent.
Yeah, to manage the
if
property.
If someone's ringing my phone saying, I'm just starting up and I'm going to rent your house and I'm going to rent it out for more to make money on it myself, then you're going to be like, well, no. Yeah,
it's also lack of trust as well then. Yeah. Because, where's the capital, where's their past history as well in it?
Yeah, exactly. This is what I mean. It is saturated, isn't it? The way everything's going.
Yeah.
Like what you said about estate agents, maybe I think that could be a lead on from these courses what are being sold online when people are like, I've got my own estate agents now, so we're going to rent out your house and blah, blah. That's a spin-off from that.
Would you say it's very important to have a look at the estate agent's history?
Yes. Yeah, definitely, because they all work so differently.
It's like reviews, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I think I guess this area, it's very, very traditional in terms of estate agency. Obviously, London everywhere is very, very different, but Loughborough and surrounding is so traditional, so square box again. But it's all dependent on the client. Some people, will go and say we only want traditional. That's how they work and how they're best to deal with. But then, is that getting you the best price for your property or rental, etc.? It's good to do the research massively. Yeah, or I guess most people have 3 out to compare and then use their best interest on, I guess a lot of it's trust again. Yeah. So, and if they're comfortable with the person stepping through their door, I guess, so.
Leading on as well from, you know, about people talking about, you know, selling courses and stuff. I've seen videos before where there's people that are saying you're better off renting than ever buying a house now. Is that true?
I don't believe in that. No.
Because when I seen it, I thought the same thing.
Yeah,
I was like, well, how's
I
that
don't
make sense?
believe it.
Because
No,
you're
you're
never
paying
going
the
to build on
landlord's
anything.
mortgage, aren't you?
That's
at the
what I
end of
didn't
the
get.
day, there's you know good things that you know if the boiler goes wrong, great, the landlord will fix it.
But you're relying on someone.
Yeah.
It's not your house.
No,
Like,
you can't do it. You can't decorate. You have to gain permission for everything as well. It's I'd say put your money in an asset. You know, a house. Say it's the doom and gloom that's saying that house prices are going to drop. But if everybody thought like that, then the market would never move.
Definitely.
I'd put the money into a property and buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Because then you can add the value to it, whether it's new, old. There's always value to be made on a property. So you know whether they're keeping it for a year, 5 years, that will always have made a gain.
And with, let's say, bringing it back to, you know, what advice you'd give to someone wanting to buy a house. I've just thought, you know, there's probably new schemes being dropped soon as well with the, you know, you can buy like a share of a house now.
Yeah, shared ownership,
all that kind of stuff. Because this stuff wasn't available a few years ago.
No, exactly. And now it's come into effect that now they have to have 30% of all new builds to be shared ownership.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
So any new so if you've got development, say, I don't know, 300 houses down the road,
I did not know
nearly
that.
100 of those,
And
shared ownership.
That works with, so you own a bit of the house and then you rent a bit of the house.
Rest,
And then as you go along, you can buy
you
more
can
of the
staircase
house.
up.
Is that with all new builds?
Yes. Yeah, over, I think, as long as they've got 30 houses on, and don't quote me on that, but around 30 houses on the development plus, then you have to have 30%,
And that's the same with a certain amount of, I believe there's a new thing coming in as well where they have to leave so much for like a natural nature thing as well.
Yes, so green space, green belt around it as well.
That's been insane for a while now, or if I'm wrong.
No, they're updating it.
Oh, they're updating it
Yeah,
now?
they're updating it to a bigger thing or something.
Yeah, I think they get so many complaints and as such regarding that there being no, you know, green space about for, you know, children or pets or whatever, that they've had to...
Half of them on their phones anyway. They ain't going to go outside and play.
Do you think as well, you know all new build estates, do you think that we need more driveways? Because I feel like that's something that really grinds my gears.
They've made them all tandem now.
What is going on?
It's like in the garage. It's like it's literally you
can't get a car in it.
No, you can get the car in it, but you can't even open your door. You're gonna have to get out the sunroof. You know what I mean?
Get a convertible.
Yeah.
But literally,
there's no plot around. Only very few.
There's no land. And we need land.
Yeah, they
Very
need to do
limited.
some more side-by-side driveways, but now they're all in tandem, which and the roads are narrow.
Yeah, I was going to say that because
if people are parked either side, the fire truck or whatever needs to go down. They're stuck.
No.
Do you think maybe something? Well, I mean, I suppose we don't know whether something will come in to change that, but surely that's something they'll have to look into.
I think it will get worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is a forever-ending battle with how many cars are on the road and people buying houses.
Yeah,
there is going to be more cars coming on the road.
100%. Where did they go? Yeah.
Where did we go?
Yeah. So lots of new estates now don't even have a curb to park along. They're all
straight to a path, aren't they?
So wedge park. Yeah, people are parking then on main roads. That then makes it dangerous. So then there's the argument there.
So I've just seen a new estate being built near my area in Fermston, and I'm not gonna lie, they all just look like fat rectangles just up. Like there's no space anywhere.
Just I guess profit gain again, isn't it?
It is, ain't it? Because I suppose they're maximising on the area that they've got to get the most out of it, and that is by building a house and selling it on there.
Which I understand. But
or why there's so many 3-story houses now.
Yeah. Do you think we'll ever get to a point as well where, because I mean we can only build for so far. Do you think they'll just start building up like London? Because you know London's full of skyscrapers.
Yeah,
Do you think we'll ever actually touch that bit?
I think the towns will. Yeah, I guess they've got to. So a lot of them buy and say, you know, old industrial units, then they'll bulldoze that down, build up, but then it's planning.
Yeah.
But once one's done it,
that's it.
All they do is drop a story, planning goes through.
Because Birmingham never used to be like that.
No.
And now, obviously, they're introducing a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this is another thing with house builders as well. I mean, I only found this out, you know, in the past couple of years, but house builders actually sit on acres and acres of land for years. without even like making it public knowledge.
Yeah.
And then they'll apply for like the planning, and then get rejected.
Yeah.
Then there'll be a conversation of basically the builder saying, right, what do you want to the council?
Yeah.
And they might be like, yeah, cool, let's have a school, let's get some shops in there,
Yeah.
then we'll reconsider. A new plans will, and then later, like, let's say, within 7-8 years, it will get accepted.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought, when you see like land acquired by such and such, I thought that was fresh. I didn't realise that had been thinking for
like
years and
30
years.
Yeah.
That's mental. And it just shows.
I didn't know that.
Literally, it just shows how much land like we don't even know about. Where we've got houses coming in the next 10,
crazy.
20 years.
Yeah, we always know.
You know.
we have to value the land and the houses, so.
I know who I'm
We always
contacting.
have, yes.
That's it.
If we see a
We know the
field,
details
we need to be like, right, what's going there? Do you know what I'm saying?
Is there any chance I could get it?
We can buy you one.
We're about out of time anyway. But thank you for coming
That's
on.
all right.
I really
All good.
appreciate it.
That's all
It's been a
right,
pleasure.
yeah.
I've learned a lot of stuff as well.
Cool,
I've
yeah,
learned a
thanks
lot.
for having me. So, yeah.
Smashed it. Sound. Instagram. Oh, Instagram.
Oh,
What is
yes.
your Instagram?
Oh, Instagram. It's Holdersestateagents.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sweet.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.